Thanks, everyone. So maybe I'll take a few minutes to explain the origins of Bon. So Bon firstly means good in French. The story is that I stopped driving 5-6 years back, and I used to take Uber and Ola back in India and Dubai and in a couple of places I went. And they used to a lot of patterns emerged by talking to them. They were underserved by banks from a credit perspective. And there's one fundamental truth about the gig economy. So these are taxi drivers, delivery boys, plumbers, and so on, and which is the more you work, the more you can earn. That's one fundamental truth about the gig economy. And that's basically what we're trying to enable. There are certain expenses related to your work that actually everyone has. A taxi driver has to fill up their tank. A painter has to buy buckets of paint for their work, like instruments and so on. So what we do is give credit, microcredit, between $10 to $100 in these markets. So we are actually live. We partner with Uber in one geography right now, launching in the Middle East and in South Asia soon. We also have inbound interest from large global, sometimes United States-based aggregators or gig economy companies that are launching outside of the US. And what we do is that we sort of bring financial inclusion to these workers, because billions of dollars have gone into these companies, but very little time and effort is spent into the financial inclusion of that workforce. So, for example, since we've actually done, so this is a stat. So in India, for example, the workforce is around 100 million. In the blue collar, you have another 20 million in the white collar space, and globally, $4 trillion was earned by gig economy workers globally. And what we think is the lending or sort of credit opportunity is around 10%, which means $400 billion at a very conservative sort of level. So the reason why I say microcredit is that we have our own card, right? So this is it's a MasterCard that we actually give our customers that they actually post, which every week they get a notification that they can spend up to X rupees or dollars on their working capital. So we have our own underwriting algorithm to figure out what this initial limit should be. And we never want them to actually go on a holiday or buy an LED screen with this capital. So wherever this card is actually transacted, we actually do a real-time auction between lenders. So my background was in the real-time bidding and auction space. So wherever this card of ours is actually transacted, we do an auction between lenders before we authorize that transaction at the POS terminal. So this happens in under 50 milliseconds, and I'll just try to see whether I can show the card. Yeah, that's how it looks. So across, we've actually had the partnerships with MasterCard to launch, issue these cards in certain geographies. We're looking for partners to actually launch it in more markets as well. But if you think about it, every Google ad you see on any website is an auction between advertisers all saying that, hey, you're searching for MBA, I'd like to show this ad. And this is my daily budget, this is my weekly budget, and so on. So we have brought that technology to the lending space, where lenders can say, okay, if anybody's transacting on a fuel merchant category code, or to buy medicine, or to pay the utility bills, they can actually bid at different interest rates, right? And so each transaction or each swipe, therefore, is a real-time auction that lenders are all bidding for. And once a transaction takes place, it's actually due in 30 days. So so we've done actually more than 300,000 of these small microcredit loans. where the average transaction value is around $20. We've actually tied up with large local players in these markets. We have, which are into delivery, hyperlocal, and ride sharing. We have around 5. Our average customer takes around does 5 transactions a month. We are seeing very sticky retention across 6 months. And again, we didn't acquire a single merchant, so we're not into going out to these, putting QR codes and acquiring merchants. The fact that we are with a network like MasterCard gives us that. So we're actually relying on 20 years of banking infrastructure so that we can ship this card out across the whole country and they can use it anywhere. We also have retail outlets where we essentially want to make getting a credit card as easy as getting a SIM card. In India, only 1%, for example, of India has credit cards. So this is something that we're trying to change. Every transaction is an auction between lenders. They're all competing in under a second. And we intend to build a credit score for every kind of purchase that you're buying. For example, we could very easily build a model around like purchasing X in a particular city. And this could be useful for lowering the interest rates as well. So that's what we do. I'm Bhasker again. And so we actually are a platform that offers credit to the gig economy. Over $4 trillion was earned by these gig workers. 10% is the lending opportunity. We actually looking at partners to actually launch in numerous other geographies and eventually the United States as well. Thank you.